You zoomed out. You're zooming in and zooming out.
Dude, I'm not touching anything. That was, and that's how we started.
I'm Mel Stewart, and this is a GMM Takeover of the Swim Swam podcast. Today, we have 10-time Olympic medalist. This guy has won gold every time he's dropped in the water, except once, and he won a silver. So 9 gold, 1 silver. Of course, I'm talking about the man, Caeleb Dressel. How you doing, buddy?
What up? Good. Very good. Good morning, Mel. I feel like the real podcast just happened for the 20 minutes we were talking before this. So we'll see if we can kind of replicate with the conversations we're having.
I just want everybody to know that Dressel comes at you so real, so raw, with so much humanity, and it's like stop. That I know you will share this with people in the podcast. That was an interesting and unique Olympic Games, but just if I take a look at it in total, knowing that you turned 28 on August 16th, you get 10 medals. That is a haul. Did you ever think when you were little Caeleb Dressel running around the pool that you would have a haul of 10 Olympic medals?
No. I think if I was 10 years old and you told me by 27 that we'd have 10 Olympic medals, I probably would have asked what sport. I don't think I even would have been for swimming. I went on and off so many times as a kid with swimming, enjoyed it, and then wanting to go play football and then wanting to go play soccer. So it's just where the sport has taken me. As you can see, most of those on my map up there is because of swimming. Just seen some of the most beautiful countries, met some of the most beautiful people, best friends, my wife. Like, I owe everything in my life, which is a very humbling and scary thing to say, because it's like, well, what if I chose something else besides swimming? Everything in my life is related around swimming. So I feel like I will be in debt to the water for my whole life. And I know a lot of our success in this sport is gauged by not just world medals, NCAA titles, but Olympic medals. Like, everyone knows that's the big boy. So to have 10, to be on some of the fastest relays, to make myself proud, to make my 10-year-old self proud. I know I have good genetics. Thank you, Mom and Pops. I know I have talent, but my senior quote from high school was, I would hope that I can squeeze out every bit of talent that I have left. So I feel like I would have made my high school self proud. Yeah. And it's been a really fun journey and process, and just the different roles I found myself in this sport, the different leadership roles, and being the rookie in Rio, the team captain, and being an anchor guy on a relay, which sucked. Nathan, I have so much more respect for that leg. That was terrifying. That was the scariest thing ever. So, and then Dave and Nesty trusting me for that position, like, just so many little things that go on that are dear to me, that I get to keep, that aren't on camera, that aren't on my Instagram, that aren't even behind the scenes stuff. It's my own personal wins, and I've just had, thousands, millions of those. The very obvious ones is, the medals. But yeah, being on that podium 10 different times has been, just truly an honor for this country, for my state, for UF, swim community in general. I've never felt deserving of the love I've gotten from people in this sport, and the platform that I've been given. But yeah, I've just felt in debt to every part of the sport. Yeah. So it'll always be special to me. I don't want to end up hating it. I want to be doing this for as long as I can and giving back in ways that I'm trying to, manifest right now and write down in my notes app. I've been kind of going crazy in the notes app of things I want to do. So yeah, man, what a special journey from 5 years old to 28. Absolutely love the water. There's never been anything wrong with the water. Parts about the sport that I hate, but the water is just such a special place for me.
Normally, I would sit here and take you through every single race. We'd unpack it, get a sense of it, and let you play rowdy games, because you did it really well. But let's stick a pin in that. Swimstream reported, it was yesterday or the day before, and I think it was AP News, and it was from a reporter in Daytona, that you are committed through 2028, but it was sort of a funky definition of what you wanted to do. Tell me in your own words, what do the next 4 years look like for you?
Yeah, so what's funny about that is, so that was my first race in Daytona, which was awesome. I'm definitely going to be going back to the 500 in February. So, just that treat from Toyota was so awesome. And NASCAR too. I think we were in the NASCAR suite, which that was a little too fancy for me. I kind of wanted to be like in the crowd with my people, Yeah, so I was doing a couple interviews throughout the day. We had the presser for real quick, and I guess I didn't even really know what I was saying when I was being asked the questions, because I haven't even been home a month, dude. So I've been home not even 3 weeks, actually. So I'm getting questions about, what's the future look like when, quite honestly, after you know how this rolls, quite honestly, after a championship meet, you're like, oh yeah, I hate swimming. Like, you don't want to think anything about it. So it's really tough to like answer those questions about, oh, what does your future look like, when all I'm thinking is like, dude, I want to have a couple beers and watch bars go fast. It's like, and I'm being asked about like the future of my career. So LA 2028 seems extremely appealing. It sounds amazing to compete on American soil. That sounds like an absolute dream and such a special way to end my career, because I would not want to go past 28. And yeah, maybe the reason the answer was a little bit confusing is because I don't particularly know at the moment either. Worlds 3 weeks out, 3 weeks away from Paris does not sound appealing to me. That can change. Unpacks definitely doesn't sound appealing to me. Training does, but it's like, it's hard to make those decisions. So yeah, LA sounds very appealing, but that's 4 years away. So I don't know. There's a lot of conversations I have to have of what that looks like. I've reached out to Beisel, I've reached out to Missy Franklin, I've reached out to Nick Fink, just for all different things. I think that's the beauty of the sport, is like everyone's more than willing to reach out to you, and everyone has their own story of what you can kind of pick and choose of what you need for your own. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm not sure, but LA sounds amazing.
I think that you need to reach out to Tom Jager. Tom Jager he was the speed master. He was the early on, like the guy who trained to swim fast, and he was married, and that was like his top priority was marriage and family. And he made that lifestyle work, and he did it at a time when he was pioneering the fight with the U.S. Olympic Committee, because they didn't allow athletes to make money, and he was trying to make that lifestyle work. But he has a unique, wise perspective. Also, he's in terms of disposition, and like, you're living on a farm. It seems like you guys are a real good fit. But he did it really well and did it for a long time and made it fit with his lifestyle. I think you might. I don't know. Do you know Tom?
Can you text me his number if you have it. You got it?
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll send it to you.
I think that would really benefit me, because just putting myself out there. My relationship struggle when I'm swimming. I have a hard time balancing and prioritizing my relationships, my marriage, when swimming is in the picture. It's hard. That's all I've known for years and years and years. And that's how I conditioned myself. Swimming always juts itself back into the conversation. So yeah, which I'm not proud of that. I'm trying to work on it, but it's tough. It's tough for me to not obsess over the sport. And just have, it's so embedded in my DNA. That's just what I've done for so long. So yeah, I think from what you explained, I think Tom could really probably have some wisdom for me. So yeah, man, let's have that conversation.
Yeah. Married 30 plus years, might be 35 years at this point. He married at 21, but that was, that relationship was his top priority, and swimming fit into that, and she was a support for that, but he did it differently. And so yeah, I'll connect you guys. But so I'm just at the top. Let's just say you have to 2028 is like, you're not going to do it. Let's just say it's 30-32. You're a young man. I know you love swimming. I know you're going to be a part of it. What does your life look like post swimming?
There's definitely some things on like, I'll get into the, like, maybe some career stuff I want to do, but there's I guess you can call it a bucket list. I have a different name for it, but there's some things that it probably only take me a year to do. But I think the number one thing that I would love to do is I would love to through hike the Appalachian Trail. So it's 2,200 miles. So if I average about a marathon, it's about 100 days. Yeah, I just think that there's just so many things that I hate to say this, but there's so many things for me and my personality of swimming gets in the way. Like I just can't do that while I'm still competing. I can't go spend 4 months out in the woods and probably lose 30 pounds. Like I can't afford to do that. I want to go see, this one's not that big a deal, but I want to go see Punxsutawney Phil, man. I want to go be in, how crazy, how awesome does that sound? I'm in the crowd watching Phil get lifted in the air. So I want to do that with my best friends. I love to through hike the Florida Trail. I'm not too sure about that one just because it's gonna not be as pretty. But yeah, like there's just things that even in these past 3 weeks since being home that I've gotten to do, and it's just been so nice. And then just sometimes being able to wake up in the morning and just go put my feet in the grass and watch Jane, my dog, go do her thing in the pasture, and like just be able to breathe a little easier. I'm happier when I'm not swimming, but I have more purpose when I am swimming, which is, I think that is the exact definition of a rock and a hard place, to be honest. And I think that the tough part now is I feel like with what I want to, when I am done swimming, with what I want to leave behind in the sport, I don't know if I have that platform yet. And I have so much of my worth tied into my results. And I've heard it a million times of people saying that I'm more than that, and that's not why people love me. I don't see that, and it's something I have to work on, because I don't feel like I'm deserving of the platform that I have at this moment, and why people love me so much in the sport, especially after Paris, which kind of sucks, dude, because I wasn't happy with my results. But then just still the love and support I get from people in the sport, and feeling like I don't deserve it because I didn't come home with the same medal count as Tokyo. But some of the things after the sport that I would love to do, I'd love for there to be more free content in the sport, whether it's technique or running camps. But I would love to grow the platform enough, which I don't feel like I'm at that position yet. And you might laugh at that and say, what are you talking about? I don't know. That's just where I'm at. I just want there to be more free content, or if it's people that aren't as privileged or underprivileged, or people that they live in Alaska and it's not easy for them to apply. So I would love to build my YouTube up, whether it's, here's a 5-minute video on things I work on for a start, but just true free content for kids in the sport. I think that could really be huge, because I've never been a fan of paying a couple $100 to go to a swim clinic. It seems like a messy process, and you get to meet the Olympian and you get the autograph, which is all the kids really care about, to be honest. They don't want to go sit in a freezing pool. So I think some free content. I would love to go take Rowdy's job, which is why I think it's very important to me to not end up being bitter about a sport and getting to a point where I do turn bitter. Because right now I can go walk around a pool, I can certainly go swim, I could go dap up Nesty, I can go sit in his office, I can go say hi to Kira and Bobby, I can go hang out with all those guys. That was not the case after Tokyo, or after Budapest for that matter. So being in a booth would be really fun, some free content for everybody. And there's honestly, I would like to just have a podcast, and it has nothing to do with swimming. I'm still kind of working on it, of what that would look like. But there's a lot of people who have a lot more wisdom than me. Essentially, I think it would be, I hope no one steals this idea, is I think just sitting down with old people and picking their brain. I don't know if that's ever been done before, but of someone who's 80, 90 years old, which I think we can all agree, I'm not offending anyone when I say that's old. So what does a successful marriage look like for 60 years? What are some of the biggest regrets you had in life? Did you work too much? What did you not do enough of? Were you on your phone too much? Like the people that really know what's going on are the ones that are, a couple of years out from dying. That's pretty morbid, but I think that would be really fun. And that's really just for my own sake, of things that I can learn. And then I think just sharing it and putting it out there. So that's something that's not at all attached to swimming. Just a couple of the ideas that I have.
I love this, because it's a little bit like a potato salad. There's a whole lot thrown in here. I'm gonna pick out a few things that our listeners probably heard, and I think it's the first time you ever said it. You said, "Hey, I'd love to do Rowdy's gig," and what's interesting is that I interviewed Beisel when she was like 13 years old, and she said that when she was 13, and now she's in the booth. They're moving her into the booth more and more. She's working with NBC. I think that the Gator combination of Dressel, Beisel would be awesome. Rowdy's already announced he's retiring.
And we did?
Yeah, Rowdy's retiring in 2020.
So that'll be his last?
That's his last one. He's retiring in 2028. And it's so that your timing is great. You're swimming with the gods, is what I'm saying. And, but here's what we know in endemic swim. So, swim is the swim nerds. We're pretty in the bunker, but you're really a swim nerd. Like, you care. Yeah, and you follow details to the 100th and very precise. And, I don't know, like Michael's doing some of it, but Michael's sort of transcended swimming and is kind of an Olympic icon. And I think he's sort of, I don't know that he actually wants to actually be in the booth doing that. The analyst work is a real skill, and it's a career. And I don't see Michael like doing it for, I don't see him being an analyst for the SEC championships. But I think that you would do the SEC championships, NC2As, nationals in the summer, world champs, Unpacks, the Olympic. I think you would find great joy in it. I think that you would take it very seriously. That's fascinating to me. That's fascinating to me. I endorse you.
I've been endorsed. Yeah. In light of everything going on in the country, there's an endorsement we can all get behind. Yeah,
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah, I of course I would take it serious. I'm very passionate about the nerd side of swimming. I'm very passionate about swimming in general, but yeah, I think that would be fun to dive into something like related to the sport that is something totally different than I've ever done. Just something new, something different. But yeah, that's why it's very important, and that's why this is a very challenging and partly confusing time in my career. And I hope none of what I'm saying is I'm not guaranteeing I'm done swimming. I'm not going to do Worlds next year. I don't know. But yeah, it's just something that is really important to me, to where I end my career the way I want, because I with how much the sport has given to me, I cannot end my career where I am bitter about any part of the sport, because there's so much that I want to give back to it that I don't want to be thinking, no, I'm not happy with how I ended this meet, so I'm not going in a booth and I'm not taking Rowdy's job. Or no, I'm not putting free content out because I didn't like how I swam in Paris, or how I ended my career at Worlds or LA. Like, I cannot afford to do that, and the sport is not deserving of that send-off. With however the sport wants me to send me off, that's fine, but for my goodbye to the sport, it deserves for me to be able to leave it in a place, and for me to like be able to carry on and share that special place. So it has to be left in a very special place for me, so I can continue to be involved with it. And I just, as you can see, I know I'm rambling, but it is like, it's so important to me that I leave the sport exactly how it deserves to be.
It sounds like we caught you at a moment. You're nice enough to do this while you're, and I know this isn't the best time to do interviews. You should be just basically making Olympic appearances and standing and waving, collecting money. But I appreciate you doing it, but I appreciate you making the time to do this, but it sounds like you're working through, hey, what's that look like?
I think that's why it's the best time to do it, because I don't have answers right now. And you know what? There's probably, out of the 52, or I forget, the women's team had a little less, but out of the 52 athletes, I'm not the only one having this. So someone might see this and it might help them. The best way I do interviews, dude, I just say the first thing that came to my mind. Like, I'm not good at making stuff up. It's easier just to be honest and tell people where I'm at. And like, yeah, I'm holding back a little bit on some stuff. Obviously, I don't want to put everything out there, but yeah, this is where I'm at. It's been so nice being home. It's been so nice. We got our cows back. I changed the chicken coop the other day. I got the pastures mowed. Me and Megan are working on doing some remodeling for the house. I'm going fishing this weekend out of St. Augustine with my pops. So we share a birthday. And he was out of town on our outro birthday for a funeral, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, we're going to go, it's a 10-hour fishing trip. Just stuff like that. It is a different perspective shift, though. I see the appeal of both decisions. I want to play pickleball on Wednesdays with my brother down in Tampa. I want to be able to stay up late and play Super Smash Brothers. My best friend lives in town now, so we're planning on, I think it's going to be Friday night dinners. I want to be able to sit down with Carlos, my acupuncturist, and just go have some margaritas at his house. All these things are fun, but like I said, I get so much purpose from swimming that for 28 years of my life, it has been worth putting those things on hold. So that's this decision now is, did I get myself to a point to where now the next chapter starts, or do we go another 4 years of something that I do love? I love training. I love being around the group. I don't know. That's where we're at 3 weeks post Paris. I have no idea.
Well, man, dude, it's, it seemed like he had a nice flow, stuck around, and it seems like he is the man in Paris. I don't know if you've seen what he's been up to. He had a great Olympics, and he's been enjoying himself.
Yeah. That's exactly what I've been up to. It's just been so much fun. And even if I wasn't even if I didn't go to Daytona, even if I wasn't going fishing, like just little stuff, I'd be able to sit on the front porch. I bet to be sore from something other than swimming has been so fun. I've been running a lot. It's just been so much fun. Like I've always loved using my body since I was a kid, whether it was racing kids on the playground, or in middle school, playing the football at recess, new skills. Like I've always been super appreciative of my body because I can pick up new skills rather quickly. And it's fun to use it with something other than swimming, which gets difficult when you're in season because you can't really do too much of that stuff. So right now it's kind of my very, very much a golden window to just go get hurt, go play, and just be able to use my body because I love it, dude. I love running. Not fast. Sprinting, yeah, I'm pretty quick, but like long distance, I'm terrible. But it's just fun.
All right, we got some swim nerds that are dropping in, and they're going to be mad at me. So let's do that swim nerd thing. Let's you're going to play rowdy gains. This is, I've endorsed you already, so don't make me look bad. Let's just talk me through the races. 4x100 freestyle relay.
So I knew about what it was going to look like from the legs that we had with Jack, Chris, Hunter. I knew I was diving in with the lead, and I was going to be a very substantial. I could have told you that after the trials final finish for Hunter. I was like, oh, we're for sure winning this relay. So in the morning, my split, it wasn't my week. It wasn't my week. I saw 48-1 split, and I said, this is going to be a tough swim meet for myself, that was tough. We can get into that later in the interview, but yeah, I knew I was going to be diving in with the lead. And I remember Nesty and Dave both told me at camp in Raleigh, so we hadn't even gotten to Croatia yet. They were leaning towards me anchoring, and here's one of those new roles. I'd been lead off every single time we've done that relay, and it's resulted in a gold medal. So that was a little bit nerve wracking. Not a little bit, very much nerve wracking. Conversations with Megan, conversations with my therapist of like, what are they doing here? So fast forward all the way to the final. I saw Jack come in, and then I saw Chris go in. I saw him go out in like what, 22-1 or something. What was it? Oh no, it was 21 something.
I don't have the splits in front of me, but it was eye popping. It was eye popping.
Yes. And then I watched Hunter flip. I watched Chris come in. It's like fairly close at this point. We saw the lead, and I know Hunter was feeling himself. I knew that even in warm up. And from the morning swim, I was like, this guy's going a 46 tonight. I didn't think it was going to be 46.7. So yeah, he comes to the wall. He's coming in. And I was like, this relay's over. Like I don't have to do anything. I just get to hit the celebration. So yeah, I know the best part about that relay is if you watch Hunter coming into the wall and me diving off him, he's yelling. He already knows it's an insane split. He already knows it. So that's the best video. He touches, he can't even read the board. He's already screaming. And Murph was like, "Did you hear Hunter yelling?" I was like, "No, like I don't think so. Maybe." But yeah, that relay was just so special to do that with three guys that have never stood individually on the Olympic podium. I think that was Hunter's, not his first medal, but his first time on the podium. So just one of those moments going back from Rio, and just being able to share that. Like, I know how special that first medal is. So like that relay was awesome. Awesome relay. We knew we were going to win. Yeah, I hate to say it that way, but like, dude, we had the four fastest guys at trials. Like we knew we were going to get it done. So it was really special.
Any fear from any? So you coming out of trials, you're like, nah, I wasn't wary of anybody in the 4x1 free.
Well, I mean, dude, things can always change. We knew Italy was going to be quick, and Australia. France did not. I thought France would be better, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be like there was going to be. China. We knew there was going to be contenders, but I mean, we had the guys, man. We had the guy. That's why it was so quick to make our team. Is we have the guys for that event. So yeah, I mean, it was, for me personally. Yeah, I had a lot of fear just being put on anchor. But just the confidence that I had in the three other guys, they really made my job so much easier.
Caeleb Dressel, another gold medal. Mixed medley relay. It's that was a different experience for you. You talk me through it.
Yeah, so that was I think it was the first time I was on a morning relay, but it made I don't know if that's what you're referring
That's exactly
to.
what I'm saying. I'm just look. I've got an Olympic medal from a final, and I got an Olympic medal from a prelim relay. And I'm gonna tell you something. After decades and decades and decades, they still look the same.
They still look gold. Yeah. So I remember Nesty asking me at camp as well. He's like, "Hey, you're gonna have 4 swims that day. Do you want to do the mixed medley?" Yeah. Are you kidding me? I think like there's people that would die to be in that situation, to go be able to help the relay, to put them in a good lane at night and to be able to possibly win a gold medal. So the fastest lineup, I knew it was not with a guy butterflyer. You have to put Nick on breaststroke, and then you need clean water. So it's like they should just call it the guy girl relay. Like that is the fastest lineup, I think, for every country. Either way, being on a relay with Reagan in the morning, and then Abby, and then who did we have? Who was our backstroker? Was Reagan? Who was on breaststroke? Oh, Matt. No, Chris. Was it Chris? Sorry, you get all mixed up.
You're sharing medals with these people. Come on.
I know. Gosh, that would be a good thing at the end, is I have to name all the relays I've been on and the ones I've won and who's been on it with me. Gosh, you would absolutely expose me. But yeah, like
you're auditioning for NBC, buddy. They're watching.
Yeah, I know. I'm not making it look good. But yeah, dude, Reagan coming into the wall and seeing where she fit. As soon as Reagan finished, I was like, all right, we're gonna win this one by a lot as well. And then it's really like, so I've always loved swimming because it truly is a co-ed sport. In training, and then especially when you get to the Olympics and you're sharing the same energy and the same pride of being on the same team as the guys and the girls. So when you actually get to combine it in a competitive atmosphere, being in the same lane and racing on the same relay together, I think it just exacerbates that and makes the situation that much more special. Why I love swimming. So yeah, I remember like the ready room is the funniest thing, just the difference between guys and girls. And then after the race, like I went for a chest bump for Reagan and she went for a hug. I was like, oh no. I was like, I really hope they didn't get that on camera. But then we figured it out. She did go in for the chest bump, and then afterwards we went in for the hug. But yeah, the mixed relays are always, I feel like, number one, fun to be a part of, but then number two, I feel like they are so fun to watch. I remember being on the bus right back and watching the mixed relay at night, and I think China was within a tenth for every split, but just the differential you get and the different strategy. There's so much strategy that goes like into that race, so I feel like it's really, really fun to watch. But I guess a little, I don't want to say humbling being on the morning, because that's what the team needed. It was faster to put Gretchen on fly and Tori on free. Like what? Yeah, I'm not going to try and argue with the coaches. Like that's the faster relay. So I was more than happy to do it in the morning, and I had a blast in the morning.
Knock me through the 100 fly where you're at.
I mean, there's definitely some things that leave a bitter taste in my mouth. That's certainly one of them. I will say, I think the main difference between Tokyo and Paris for me was Tokyo, I was happier after the swims. Paris, I was happier before the swims. I will say every time I walked out for those blocks, I was thoroughly enjoying myself. The only 2 swim meets where I've ever put my hands in the air and waved, because I've been so appreciative of feeling the love and feeling the support, was U.S. trials in 2024 and Paris Olympics. Like I said, I've never felt deserving of the love I've gotten from everybody in this sport. I feel like I have had an extremely fair career, from media, even the critical stuff. I'm like, you know what? Kind of agree with that. But 100 fly was, I walked out ready to go. 50 free wasn't what I wanted. And there's still things I'm digesting, certainly. Just tracking how well I was this whole year and then not getting the results that I wanted at all, or not getting the results that I felt like at least should in the ballpark of. So definitely still confused about some things, but I was ready to go for the 100 fly. I shook off 50 free and I dove in, and I was like, this is off. This is very much off. I didn't think it was going to be that far off. So that one hurt. That one was very heartbreaking. And just the fashion in which it happened, it was embarrassing. To go that time, to miss out on the final, to not be able to defend my world record or Olympic gold, that was heartbreaking. I think that's the best word I have for it. That's just not what I felt like. I really hate to say this, so I want to be very careful because this might be interpreted wrong, but that is just not what I felt like I deserved. But then at the same time, this is why I love the sport, because it's very fair. So that wasn't what I got on that day.
You can't lie in swimming. There is no lying in swimming.
You can't. So that's, it has been, I would not change a single thing I did in training this year. And I think some of the results I got were surprising. So I'd love to have a conversation with Nessie of just his, I will. We already have that set up and planned. I'll go in and talk with them of just, man, like some parts that are just still very confusing. And I might not ever get answers for it. And it could just be simply, it wasn't my week. It's just the most confusing part was I was just tracking so well this whole year until I wasn't. But man, like if you just had a camera on me this whole year in training, like probably would have put a lot of money on me to win that 100 fly and it's 53, but I didn't. So it was heartbreaking, and I think that'll probably forever leave a bitter taste. I don't think I'll ever fully digest that one. And I'm not even saying if I was in the final, I'm winning. I don't know what was in the tank for that 100 fly. Because I don't want to undermine Christoph or Josh at all. Who knows if I was going to 49? I don't know.
So we had the same conversation with Ryan in the 200 back. He's sitting and he's like, he goes, I'm trying to manage energy system. I even with my 9 Olympic medals and all my Olympic experience, I estimated wrong. I gauged it wrong. Was your simming off? Or were you gauging it wrong, trying to manage your energy system? Was it, I know in fly, people don't realize if they don't swim fly, if your body position's off, if you start backing it down, once your body position sinks, you're done. You're in quicksand.
I wasn't backing anything off.
Oh, really? You were flat out. Yeah, that was it. You gave it. Okay.
That was it, man. That was all I had. And so that's where it's like, every time I maybe some morning swims I backed off, and if I get a pretty good gauge of where I'm at in a semifinal, maybe. But usually I just let the pressure of the moment of the final give me those extra couple tenths. That was flat out. That's all I had. So it's like how bitter can I be if that's 21.6 and 51.4 that's where I was on that day, which is it's like I could just spend 2 hours working through that, and I know you can still hear the frustration in my voice of just like, why? Like that's really what my body had that day. Man, just checking so many boxes and just it being so fun with Nessie this whole year, and and then also like on the relays, like I got it done. I had good enough splits for the mixed, for the 400 free, and then for the 400 medley. Like I feel like I did my part there, but my individual swims, it was just simply off. And I don't know if I'll ever have an answer, which is just the most like confusing, hurtful part of that's what I had.
In the middle of this, I was going to talk to you about the Medley Relay. Let's save that for a second. But you had an emotional display. I think we texted about it a little bit because our editor-in-chief commented on it, and it was so NBC they kept the camera on you, and a lot of fans were like, "Hey, this appears to be a little bit of a private moment," and like we're prying, and there were a lot of debate. There was debate around your show of emotion, and it shook out that it's like when human beings.
What do you mean? What do you mean by debate?
The debate was NBC putting the camera on you? They could have established, hey, you're having an emotional moment, and taken the camera angle off of you, but they stayed too long. Then it was a debate about, wow, this is a seasoned Olympian having an emotional moment. What does that mean? Because people are afraid of feelings. And then the debate shook out to, okay, well, if you're in therapy and you're a fully formed human being, you feel your feelings so that you can process your feelings. Because if you don't process your feelings, you hold them in your body. And how do you compete when you're holding everything in? So it was a lot of people who were like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And the medley shows that as a result. You were obviously disappointed. Something was going on with you. You processed how you felt. You let it out. You showed up in the 400 medley, and your silver medal might be one of your favorite medals when you look back 20 years from now, because you fought for that thing. After your 100 fly and then coming back and splitting 49.4 on the relay, impressive.
So I feel like I'm gonna have to go here. Just, I don't know if I plan on getting into this with you, but I think it's important. So I first off, let me just preface what I'm about to say with, I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. You can certainly have an opinion on whether I should have sucked it up a little better, whether the camera shouldn't have been on me. I don't blame NBC at all. They're there to get content. I don't blame it at all. And I'm quite honestly, I think just the biggest thing from what I heard from Megan was it was just on you a little too long. I think that was the biggest thing, because I'm not even upset that the camera was on. First of all, I didn't see the camera. I did the whole mix zone. Chin was up, answered my questions. I thought very well, thought out. And then I remember the last stretch of mix zone, I saw Dr. Enfield, who's been my primary care doctor, has been very up to date with what's gone into this year. So the three girls, Megan, certainly, Nicole, my therapist, and then Dr. E, has been my primary care, but she has known me since I stepped foot my freshman year on campus, and she's stuck with me. So, and she's gotten involved with USA Swimming, so she was on this trip. So the last 60 yards of, that stretch, I saw her standing there, and I lost it. I thought I was out of the clear. I held it together until I didn't need to. But yeah, like if people wanted me to suck it up,
you thought you were in private. You thought you were out of and you went off camera. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't think I needed to suck it up anymore. I was done swimming for the next 2 days until the Medley Relay. So if I would have had an event that night, no, you shove it down and you get ready to go. I'm great at that. I'm super good at that. So this year, this is probably going to be very controversial, but I think it's important. I think it's important. Again, I don't want anyone to think any different or feel sorry for me. There was a very real moment at trials where the 50 free semifinal could have been my last race of my career. Trials was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, than my wife thought it was going to be, than my therapist thought it was going to be, than Nestle thought it was going to be. That was the first time I had boots on the ground in a very real environment. You could have said 2023 World Trials, but I wasn't expected to do anything there. I'd only had a couple months trading under my belt. So there was a very real moment at trials where I thought, this could be my last race. And after that, it was truly taking it one step at a time, one race at a time, I should say. And I was talking to Nicole on the phone, about 20 minutes before the 100 fly final. There was just a lot that came up, and if it could be controversial, and if people want to call me a baby or a puss or whatever, you're free to do that. Again, I am not designed to do this, and then there's just parts of the sport where I can't tell if my body is saying we're done doing this, or if I do need to put in a little bit more work. But going from trials, having conversations where it was a real possibility that I wasn't going to go to Paris. After trials was done, do I even want to accept my spot on the team? What an honor it was. But then I was also thinking there might be someone who might enjoy this a little more. Dare, I was thinking of Dare for 100 fly. And then it was, the topic of, well, do I just go and just do relays only and show up for the team? If I was, one of the two fastest flyers and made the relay for the 100 free, like I want to be able to get these guys some gold medals. So that was very much a driving force. So without sharing everything, but what went in from how trials was, not sure if I was even going to accept my Olympic spot, and then getting to Paris, I think that my goals quickly shifted for me personally, I needed to go to Paris. I needed to finish that swim meet. And still walking away with 2 gold and a silver, it's not a bad day for just what went through, but it doesn't seem very healthy, very fair that it takes my therapist being there in Paris, going back on Lexapro during trials, having constant check-ins with multiple people on staff, making sure there's someone after the mix zone there to walk me to the warm down. But there's just a lot that went into this swim meet that I don't think a lot of people on my team were expecting. So yeah, I just think the full story makes a little more sense And again, I think the main reason for sharing is if that could help somebody. I think the biggest takeaway I've had from this year is I can't do this by myself. I'm nowhere close doing this by myself. And there's parts of the sport that have gotten much harder. There's also things that I'm very proud of what I've done. But yeah, there's still a lot of conversation that has to go, because every swim meet, I don't want what trials in Paris look like. And then still at the same time, I was very happy behind the blocks. So yeah, there's a lot that I still have to work through, but that's just the reality of the situation. There's a lot that went into trials and into Paris, and to be able to finish that swim meet, I needed that for myself. And I knew as soon as I stepped on that plane, I am not leaving Paris. We are finishing the swim meet. So yeah, very proud of all those things considering. Very proud of what I did and how I did it, and very proud of the team around me, because I couldn't have done that alone.
I appreciate the vulnerability, the strength through vulnerability. Thanks for sharing that. I'm sure people have this experience, and on some level, in some way, maybe not on this scale. When you have moments and it's a lot, are you in fight, flight, or freeze? Your nervous system ramping up? Is it a situation where, I talk to some people, everyone battles depression or certain things in mental health at some point in their life. It's rare that they don't, or they just don't talk about it. Some people experience, it's like, I feel something coming, and it's dread, and it's like outside, but I know it's coming. I felt it before, and then you start anticipating it, and that is what freaks you out. Is it, I don't want to pry too much, but I'm trying to get a sense of like how it affects you personally.
Well, I feel like what you just explained, my friend, is anxiety. Is that what we're?
Is that what it is? I mean, I don't know. Well, it depends. It takes all different forms. It's different for different types of people, and it's a yes.
So yes, and it's strange because none of this, it didn't show its face at all this whole year. Every swim meet I had, I did practices. I love practice. I love training, and I know what's catching up to me is the perfectionist side of things, and how obsessed I get with the sport and how it does affect my relationships. But the biggest thing is just my feeling like my body can't keep up with what I want out of it. And I know there's eventually going to come a time, and we could already be here, to where I'm not getting the best times anymore, and constantly striving for that and looking for every outlet and trying to just get that perfectionism, which I thought I had a better grasp on it than I did. I'm just asking a lot of myself and I think my mental capacity in this sport to just keep on pushing through. And I think it's just kind of reaching its limit with how I'm approaching things. Doesn't want to keep up with that anymore. But there's just still things I don't have an answer for. I'm like, I was tracking so well this whole year. Oh man, all like every pro swim getting faster, and then it just wasn't. So I don't know if there's just something bottled up in my body of like, nope, we don't want to do this, or if it was just something I could have done different for taper or what. I don't know. I really don't know, and you're going to hear a lot of that in this interview. But yeah, that's just, I didn't think I was, but I'm a very anxious person, especially when it comes to competing. In general life, no, but swimming, yes.
For context, everybody, I think every fan that has followed you closely and loves you, and I think we were all coming into trials going, Dressel, this might not happen. He might not do well at trials. That was a real outcome that's in the back of your head. I think everybody was hoping, hey, he's going to show up and perform, and it's going to be the athlete that we've always seen. But I think there was if you asked everybody, they didn't know for sure. This has been a long.
Oh, that's actually very very reassuring. Wow.
Yeah. But it's been a long journey back. It's been like, okay, we see the trajectory. This is actually, oh wow, this is actually really hard. He has to really work hard at this. It's going to take a long time to come back. What do you?
Yeah. So that was all. That was honestly one of the a nice realization of like, I'm really not just surviving this sport off of talent alone. Like I put a lot into this sport, and I cannot just very easily come back like that. So I was like, damn, that was a lot of work I put into that. So a lot of pride went into that, because even after 2023, like at 2023 trials, I didn't think I was going to be like anything crazy, but I was like, oh, I thought I would have been at least a little faster than what I did then. So it's like, oh, I put a lot of work into this sport. So it's like, oh, I think I see that now. And I was like, other people certainly see that, because it's like, I'm not one of the guys that could just come back in a couple months. So yeah, that's honestly reassuring that people were, like, not just, I think I said this earlier. Again, everyone's been super. I mean, there's been a couple dodos, but everyone's been so fair to me in this sport, and just the love I've gotten. Like I've truly never felt deserving of it. I feel like I haven't given people the results to get the love that I have gotten in this sport, and I know that's not healthy. I know that's not healthy. I see you shaking your head, and that's what everyone does when I say that. But yeah, like that's my whole identity is results, and that's what has gotten me my platform and my respect in this sport. And yeah, so it's never felt fair when I didn't win the 100 free at trials. I got third, but people are still just as excited if I did make the team. And I didn't go a best time in the 50 free, and I'm in lane 7 at the Olympics, but everyone's still cheering my name in France when I'm walking out. Like, why do y'all, I'm not performing for you. Why do you love me so much? And that's something I have to work on, and that might take a couple of years. I'm not too sure. I'm just trying to be as vulnerable and as honest as I can. Yeah, it's easier to do my interviews this way, and if it helps anyone, and maybe if they're interested, just gets a better grasp on kind of how this year went for me. But going back to answer your question about 100 fly, here I am. We're completing the circle. That's why I cried. Everything I just said, of course I'm gonna fucking cry. Are you kidding me? Yeah, like everything I just said, not knowing if I'm going to Paris, not knowing if I'm going to finish trials, not knowing and during the 9-month break, if I'm going to come back to the sport, and then being overwhelmed by the support I've gotten coming back, the love I felt in the sport, not feeling like I deserved that. Going back to high school, I've never understood why are people interested in me if I'm not performing for them? All of that from age 5, all this whole life story boiling down to this moment, and I didn't perform. Yes, I'm going to cry. And hearing Dr. E say she's proud of me and that she loves me. Yes, I'm going to lose it. This is not just, I'm sad because I missed a final. Who cares? It was all the work and all the people interested in my career to get me to this point. And them not caring that I missed a final, but me caring. I could have 0 gold medals. My parents love me just as much. I probably wouldn't have this, obviously not as big a platform in the sport, but I think I could have retired after Tokyo probably and been in the same boat. So I just feel like I'm constantly trying to chase something or prove something with myself, and a lot of things I still need to work on. But all that being said, I got very, very good information from trials and from Paris for myself, that Megan got, that my therapist got, that Dr. E got, that will help me with my future career. And whether that's at Worlds next year, Unpacks, Worlds again, or in LA, I have very good information. So there's stuff that showed up that we didn't think would. Very proud of how I handled it. And there's your full circle of why that moment panned out how it did.
That was the Caeleb Dressel memoir, through the lens of the 100-meter butterfly semifinal, not making the final. If you missed it, it was like, that was good. Now, I appreciate your vulnerability. That works. That makes sense. It's so layered. Yeah, NBC, you thought you were in pride, and since you were...
And here, I'm not mad at them. Megan said, because I met up with Megan after that night, and I was checking my phone for something. I can't remember why. I think I hadn't done the Wordle that day or something like that. And she's like, don't go on social media. I was like, why? I was like, am I getting shit on? And that's what I'm saying. I know there's articles that came out. Obviously, I hold the world record, and I didn't make the final, and I think it's been my goal. Yeah, why would you not write an article on that from, I don't know, probably ESPN, Sports Illustrated, y'all probably had one. Like, of course, that's not unfair treatment. And Megan's like, well, she's like, no, it actually wasn't that. Like, NBC caught you in the warm down pool. I was like, oh, like when I was crying? I was like, that's fine. She was like, yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah. It's a human experience. I'm not a robot. I'm not a machine. I think people have seen that throughout my career multiple times. I am not good at, if I can't hold it together anymore, I can't hold it together anymore. There's things that I do not have strong points at all. I am an anxious person when it comes to swimming. I do care what people think. I do feel the pressure 100%. And some parts of that have only gotten worse throughout my career. So yeah, I think, and then Megan was like, well, I just think the biggest thing was how long they were like, and then again, it's like, well, whatever. Like maybe somebody didn't need to see that, but also I think it's just, if I can humanize the sport, not even just this sport. I think a really good example I have of this is I saw more people walk through the doors at U.S. trials into the athlete zone crying than I did smiling. There's more heartbreak at that swim meet than there is joy. You see dreams get crushed there. You see people forced into retirement.
Called the meet of tears.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Most of the Olympics, you're seeing happy and the Americans doing well. So if that was my part to play at that swim meet of humanizing it for the age groupers out there who have that bad swim and they want to go cry, it happens to all of us up to the Olympic level. I was upset with how I did. Why would I not cry? I'm not a macho man, dude. Well, some parts I am, let's be honest here. But, yeah, if I could humanize, if I played my part to humanize athletes, camera could have been on me for 2 hours. Who cares?
Were you got one silver medal, and then that was at Medley Relay, but you came back after this fly performance and you split a 49.9. You showed up. Are you proud of that? I was like, that might be one of the hardest fought races that you've had. That
49.4, wasn't it?
The 49.4, yeah, that was a great performance coming off of what happened in your semi. And I wonder, it's like if that silver medal is meaningful to you because you came back after that semifinal and you put down that relay split.
There's a lot of reasons it's meaningful to me, but the group of guys every Medley Relay, I mean, the group of guys, it is the best in the world for their specific stroke. We're all coming together. But doing it with Murph and Nick, not trying to leave Hunter out at all. Love Hunter, but I look up to Murph and Nick so much. What they've done for the sport, how they carry themselves, how consistent they've been. It's very special. For every relay I've been on with Murph is special to me. So just the guys alone for that relay, that medal is special to me. Being the ones to have to carry the burden of the first time in history losing that relay, that's a good group of guys to do it with. So you know what? We will carry that one. We got that. We got it out of the way. And there was a better team than us that day. And then probably last, yes, we all would have liked to have won that relay, but I was happy with my split. And quite frankly, I knew I was going to have to be faster. I mean, I just remember telling Nessie, even with just how terrible the day it was with the 5,300 fly, I told Nessie, I was like, I'm going to be good on that relay. I have no reason to believe that. I have zero, there's no evidence behind me point, but I'm telling you, I will be good. I had to. I didn't have a choice. That's what the guys needed from me. Well, actually, they needed a 48.8, I think, would have gotten it done. That's what they really would have needed from me. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons that medal is very special. A lot of reasons. Yeah, I mean, there's a better team than us.
I talked to Murphy, and Ryan Murphy was we talk a lot in the background about a lot of different things, but on our podcast, it was really about Team USA's performance. And there's been a little bit of back and forth. You and I text a little bit about it. I mean, on the men's side, we didn't win a gold medal until Bobby. Yeah, Bobby dropped that world record. That was a monster race. That was very exciting. Yeah, we tied with the gold medal count for Australia at 7. Then we had Reagan Smith. She swims. She beats Kaylee McEwen. She breaks the Olympic record. The women break the world record. So we have eight golds to 7. And the takeaway for me on that one relay was like, I looked at my wife after that. I'm like, if you're going to war and it's life or death, and you've got to take somebody in a relay, and you're going to take Reagan Smith.
You're going to take Reagan Smith.
You're going to take Reagan Smith. Reagan Smith. Yeah, that was pretty exciting. But worst performance since 1988. Really worst performance since 1956, if you look at all metrics. And so we've been unpacking that. And Murphy was like, he had something interesting to say. Basically, his takeaway was the world's catching up. A lot of people train here, but it doesn't matter. We still got to win. But is it something that you guys felt as you went through the schedule, the 9 days, the brutal 9 days? It's like, God, we got to pick up this individual medal. How does our performance overall?
Well, we were talking about the individual medal. I mean, everyone when you're stepping up to the blocks, I mean, you're going, especially if you're in the final, you're going for a win. You're going for a gold medal. So it's not like anyone is purposely like just sabotaging the men's team. I don't think that's the case at all. And there's no way around it. I don't think it's controversial to say the men underperform. Every swim meet, it's not something I'm going to get defensive about. That's nothing that anyone should get defensive about. It's just the truth. We underperformed. We did not swim to our potential. We had a bad week of racing. And I can't even begin to explain like what could have caused that, or I don't know why. But yeah, we were certainly, the girls were carrying for sure. Bobby, Lord and Savior, Bobby Fink. We needed that from him. And yeah, I mean, I don't want this to snowball into this huge thing. We're still the best swim team in the world. So like, yes, we didn't have a good week. Yeah, Murph's right. The rest of the world is catching up. I don't think, and just to piggyback off of what Murph said, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The faster the world gets, the better we get, the faster it makes us. All my best races come from my closest races. First of all, top of my head is obviously Chalmers. Love that guy to death. So much respect. I think the most dominant, consistent 100 freestyler I've seen in my career. Christoph, when he went the national record, 49.6, was right next to my world record. 50 free was whatever. I've been the same time like 8 different times. I don't even know which one to pick. There's not really too much strategy for that one. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And then what Murph said, yeah, a lot of them, we don't have to beat around the bush for this. Yes. So I texted Mel, I was like, what was the medal count? Yeah, we know the medal count for each individual countries, but like, what was the medal count for people that train in the U.S.? And Mel was like, was there like a little bit of anger there? Yes, there certainly was. But the driving factor for me was I was actually just curious. So I don't even remember what the medal count was, but yeah, I mean, we are the best. I think it started with being the best swim team in the world. And because of that, people want to come train here. They want to be a part of that. So we're kind of sharing the wealth as I see it. But going back to what you said, we still need to be number one. It's inexcusable. We need to figure out what needs to be put in place to where we're going to be more dominant. Because yeah, I'm fine with the foreigners coming to train here. It's great. They make great training partners. So do Americans. But I mean, faster we can get the sport in the U.S. is awesome for everybody. But then when we go to compete as the U.S., we still need to be the dominant ones.
And I don't want to knock on other countries in saying that either. It's from my perspective of Team USA being number one, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of population and economics.
100%.
We're throwing 100%. We throw more money in our sport, and we have more people. We have a larger population to pull from. People might say, well, in other nations they've got government support, and I would argue that we've had government support at scale in state colleges, state universities paid for by taxpayers.
That's a good point, actually.
That is the Olympic funnel, and that's taxpayer supported institutions. And so anyway, my 2 cents, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to know. Not as wise as you, not as smart as Murph. So I don't know what needs to be put in place to where those we get back to either where we were or we get back to being ahead of the world, and we widen that gap of how close is everyone is getting. I don't know what that looks like or what needs to be put in place. But let's calm down, everybody. Still number one. And we had a bad swim meet. Let's let's just relax. So Rio, we're 8 years removed from Rio. I remember everyone talking about, I think at least everyone on the men's side in Rio, I think everyone won a medal except for one person. Like, that was only 8 years ago. Like, let's calm down here. So yeah, it's a bad swim meet. I mean, I think for now we can leave it at that. Things do need to be changed and put into place. I don't know what those things are. But it's not like it's the end of USA swimming for the men. Yeah, I'm fine with right now leaving it as not our best work. Move on.
All right. I think you've covered every single topic, and I've held you for a really long time.
Dude, I'm chilling, dude. I love talking to you. So don't feel like if you've got some big stuff you want to get through, like, let's do it. I pretty much put everything out there. I mean, my whole heart's in this interview right now. I'm gonna be nervous I'm nervous when you release this, to be honest.
I don't think there's anything to be nervous about. There's some things that were like big takeaways, which is that, a lot of people wanted to know about when you were crying, because they felt that it was a little gratuitous and long. But here's the thing: you fully know that NBC has to tell the story. But it's interesting that you didn't. You thought you were in private. You thought you were having a private moment, and I think it's interesting that, this truth about being an athlete in this day and age, or being a great athlete, is that if you don't experience your feelings and process them, you can't clear them to then come back and compete again. Because if you don't, it's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, and like I said, if I had to swim that night, if I had another swim that night or the next morning, I'm straight face. I'm totally fine. But I didn't, and my body knew that, my mind knew that. So I couldn't bottle it up. So, I mean, yeah, they're totally free to say whatever they want about me. But that's what needed to happen in that moment for myself. So I don't really even think it's a controversial thing. Didn't know a camera was there. I don't need to get into everything. You got probably 15 minutes of just that race in this interview.
We do. It's entirely. There's something. I always had the impression that you worked extraordinarily hard. That you. Everybody's witnessed you pop off extraordinary in-season 400 IMs and 200 flies, and so it's like Dressel's doing a lot of work. Like, he's doing work, but this guy can also do a 50. What would his life be like if he just worked on that vertical leap and explosive power? It just did the 50. Is it because it feels like if you were all in just on speed, we might see a different 50 freestyler. That's occurred to me, and nerds talk about it when you're not around.
Behind my back. Yeah, it's certainly kind of why I've been talking to Nick. It's certainly come up in conversation of what I mean by different training is I am never in my life leaving Gainesville or Coach Nesty. Just how much that guy has helped me for this chapter of my career has been tremendous. All the coaches at UF. So when I say different training, it's UF, baby. It might just look, the time I'm in the water, singles versus doubles. It's definitely a conversation I would like to have. Weight room will probably certainly look a little different. And that conversation with Tom, I think, would definitely need to happen with just having a 6-month-old and my wife. I want to prioritize them over swimming. That's just the point I'm at. I feel like I've done everything and more that I ever thought I could or I've ever wanted to do in the sport. So now, like, if it's just a splash and dash, have a little fun with it. I'm not, you know me better than that, to throw out, I would go this time. Who knows? I know it would be a lot of fun just jumping around, being in the water for an hour, but then also knowing me, it's tough. I've done, like, I definitely have had a different training regimen than most sprinters, because I'm not training for just the 50 or just the 100 free or just the 100 fly. I'm training for a 9-day swim meet for 14 races. I mean, that was true for NCAAs. I think Tokyo was 12 races. So yeah, I mean, you have to show up at the meet in shape, because training for just 100 free looks different than just training for 100 fly or just training for the 50 free, but then you clump all of them together and you add relays and you add the pressure of the swim meet. It's much different training regimen. So, yeah, I've always said, like, towards the end of my career, I would love to just, focus on the 50, and we might be there right now. I don't know, but I've always loved the 50. Always loved watching it. I think it's the most exciting event in the sport. So yeah, definitely a sit down conversation with Nesty to see his thoughts on that. And I could be a guinea pig be more than happy to be a guinea pig for ideas that Nesty has that can't really just throw on to 40 guys on the men's team. So an absolute pleasure working with Nesty. How close I've gotten with Coach Whitney, Dana, who I swam with. I've been able to lean on everybody on this staff. So yeah, I'm never leaving Gainesville, dude. This is my home. This is my home forever. This is my training forever. This is my people. Yeah.
How long is your commute to the pool?
22 minutes.
So you're driving out in the sticks, because Gainesville's in the, I spent time in Gainesville. 22 minutes out. You're in farm country.
Yeah, dude. Look here. I'll show you. That's my view from my upstairs office. Just mowed, freshly mowed. So I'm really just trying to show off to everyone with that. I don't know where the cows are, to be honest, but yeah, literally in the sticks.
You love being a farmer, don't you?
I do, dude. I was so excited when I got home, and the pasture was very overgrown. Our neighbor Bruce, actually, he texted me. He's like, "Do you want me to mow your pasture? The grass is really long." I was like, "No, I wouldn't do it when I got home." Yeah. So I got to zap the pasture. Like I said earlier, I got the chicken coop set up. Our chickens actually moved out. They just moved out. So our neighbor Ellen, she has horses, and at 5:00 every night they get their feed. And our chickens got on this routine where they would go over there at 5:00 every night. Horses would swing the feed. They'd get some, and they'd come back. Until it turned into the chickens found out that her horse barn has AC and really nice hay. So it was like a slow trickle over a month where all of a sudden, but then they would go over Ellen's for most of the day. They come back at night to the coop and tuck themselves in. And then now we don't own chickens anymore. They all moved out. So Ellen has 5 chickens over there. So we're going to try to figure out a way to lure them back in. I'm so over the stupid chicken mess, dude. I'm having to buy treats to lure them back to their home. We've had to buy eggs for the past 2 months. They don't lay. Ellen has 40 eggs and she doesn't eat eggs. So, and they lay them under her barn, so you can't reach them. It's a mess, dude. It's a mess. So yeah,
your life is going sideways. I feel terrible.
Yeah, dude. I guess this is a very passionate time just talking about the chickens, but it's just been. I love where we live. It's a nice getaway from how my life usually is. So I'm not particularly good at dealing with spotlight, and I hate to say this because I don't see it, but the fame of everything. So this is our little patch of paradise here is a nice balance out for everything. And I just love being barefoot and not wearing a shirt. So we're on 10 acres. You don't really have to do much of that.
You could speed on model if you stay fit for the next 8 years.
Oh, dude, I've said this. I'm like a Dalmatian. If you don't if a Dalmatian doesn't move enough, they get aggressive. That's me. I just get grumpy. When I get sick, obviously I'm no fun to be around. I get sick, but I swear I just get meat. I'll bite you. I'll bite you, dude, if I don't move enough.
It seems that you've got to have. I've always thought that great athletes were artists. It is an artistic movement of just pure efficiency. It's beauty. It's dancing. And when you don't have these outlets, you start to go cuckoo. Are you going to add some more ink to your body?
No, not anytime soon. I think I'm going to wait. So here's the thing: when you add tattoos, is it takes away body definition. If I would love to go on my chest, but then it takes away your chest. I would love to go on my belly, but I might wait until I'm old man and out of shape. But for now, look good, I feel good. So yeah, I thought about going on chest or belly, but I think I'm just going to wait till I'm an old man. But nothing anytime. Nothing big, I should say. At least I might get something dumb with Megan, something like that. But
my wife's sleeving it up. She's like,
is she really?
Yes, she is. She's totally good. She's got just here to here, but she's gonna go full sleeve. And she's like, ask him if he's getting new ink. Now she's gonna be all disappointed. She's like, I would like to know an artwork that Caeleb's getting.
Oh my brother's just a terrible influence on me for stuff like this. He did a chest piece. It looks amazing. Same artist that did my leg, actually, Travis. And then he actually has a piece going because he got jealous of how my eagle comes over on the chest. So he has a piece that wraps around and kind of goes up his neck. But yeah, I gotta stop copying Tyler because he got his left arm. I got my left arm. He got his leg. I was like, that looks nice. And then I got my leg. So just terrible influence on me.
Something to do.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, dude. I mean, I've just been having fun running. I'm going to start lifting this week. It's just, I love moving my body. Running's just so different. So we'll see. Maybe I'll dip into doing some running races or something like that. I don't know.
And do you like to go fishing? Because you mentioned you're going fishing this weekend. What do you fish?
Yeah. So we're going out of St. Augustine. It's a 10-hour trip, so we'll be I forget how many miles offshore, but we're not gonna be able to see land. So we'll just do some bottom fishing. Snapper aren't in season right now, but we should bring enough. I mean, we're gonna bring plenty enough back to eat. So I'm a hippie now, man. I don't kill stuff I don't even kill bugs just to kill bugs. So if I'm killing it, I'm gonna eat it. People are still gonna throw a fit when you make the post on Instagram, but I love catching. Actually, number one is shrimping. That is so much fun. Your boy I know how to throw a shrimp net. And then offshore bottom fishing is easy number two, because you're guaranteed to catch something, and it is some of the best eating. And you don't even know you just need butter and lemon, maybe a little Old Bay, and then you're good to go.
You're living the life. You're a Renaissance man. You're a Florida Renaissance man. You got it. Fall out. Fisherman.
I know. It's like I'm not turning into. I've always been a true Florida man. But here's something fun for everyone listening. If you want to know because everyone knows about the Florida man memes, what you do is type in Florida man and then your birthday, and then you see what article comes up. I think mine was so you type in Florida man August 16th, and then I think mine was like some guy threw an alligator through a window at a McDonald's drive-in or something like that. Yeah, so mine's really good. But yeah, everyone listening to this, you should check out what your Florida man birthday arrest is. It's a good time.
Do
it. When's your birthday? Let's just do it real quick.
It's Florida man, November 16th.
November 16th. Okay. Here we go. Florida man claims voices made him rob a Dollar General twice in 2 days. That was last year, dude.
Wow, this is...
Florida man arrested after giving unauthorized massages at rehab? No, dude. Oh, no.
Florida man is like the worst news ever. It is the dumping ground for a lot of craziness. But
these are the ones, dude. Those are just the ones I could say on the podcast without you having to censor everything I'm saying. Oh, dude, Florida man chugs 2 beers in under 30 seconds at Epcot and then removes his shirt and almost falls from Skyliner platform. You got some good ones, dude.
All right. Well, you're the Florida man ambassador, the positive version with Olympic medals. So it's all good. It's I have to start working here soon. So Sherry, if you get any parting thoughts, let me know, or maybe you have some questions.
No questions. I hope our conversations today can help somebody. Just one person would make me happy. If I can humanize the athletes within USA Swimming, if I can be that role for someone, I'm fine with that being. It's hard. It's a tough role, but I'm fine with it being me. For those interested in my career, yeah, I mean, I said a lot of stuff that I'm probably too nervous to even watch a video of what you put out. So if people that are interested in me, if that clears up some stuff, or, just makes them realize, I think, how I tick a little bit better, that would make me happy. But yeah, I'm happy to be home. And I think with everything I've done in my career, I think I've made my 10-year-old self very proud. So I'm not sure what comes next with my career. LA seems very, very exciting. Thank you, Nesty. Thank you, UF. Thank you to all the people that support and love me. I love y'all. I feel like I've just gotten such unfair treatment. I know I've said that multiple times. I think I will just never understand why. Maybe one day. I hope I do one day. But for right now, I've got a lot of self-image tied up in my results there. So I'd like to branch out from that. And I know other people see it, but I don't at this time in my life. So, Emmett, I'm doing good. Happy to be home. Got a smile on my face. Excited to go fishing in a couple days.